同学们，大家好，欢迎你来听这个语法讲座。我是向老师。So hello everyone, welcome to the Grammar in Context series, a series developed by me, Dr. Shihua Shan, for the Center for Advanced Language Proficiency Education and Research, CALPER, which is housed at Penn State University. So in this unit, we'll be learning about the grammatical features and fixed expressions associated with these discourse particles. You may not have heard this term discourse particles, but these are familiar words. You may have already learned them, some basic constructions of these words. 也,还,都,又,在. So this series is intended for advanced language proficiency development. So I assume that you have studied for at least 2 years in a classroom setting of Mandarin Chinese, or you are a heritage speaker. So these are highly frequent grammatical words in Mandarin. They occur so often that their meaning is highly multiplicit. That means not only you have the basic meaning of these, they also have developed into discourse connection words. They help to build extended discourse. They also help to communicate your intentions or your attitudes to the other person. So in this unit, we'll illustrate these grammatical features with authentic examples from various sources. And we'll also not only look at grammar, but also look at fixed patterns, multiple words constructions, and also we'll be learning expressions for polite communication. There's lots of authentic text that you can use this for reading comprehension practice and the listening comprehension practice. So, Mandarin Discourse Particles, Unit 1, Learn. So this is the unit where we learn about these. There will be a follow-up unit where you do more practice. There will be exercises for you to check and longer texts for you to read. So let's begin. First, I want to show you a simplistic overview of these particles in 2 groups. It's overly simplified, just to give you a snapshot. So 也, roughly you can understand this as English phrase also. 还, even, still. 都, or, both, yet, already. So these belong to one group as they help to show some sort of parallels across distinct entities. 也, distinct parallels between distinct entities. 还, continuation of time. 都, shared features of distinct entities. So they have this one feature that they mark parallel similarity across distinct things. The second group has 2 particles. 又, again, 在, once more. So both indicate some sort of repetition of action with very different usages. I keep saying the word particle. It takes a bit of explanation. What is a particle? You know, Chinese Mandarin grammar is very much based on those little words that do so many different things. Very important. These are particles. They have no specific one single meaning. They are very versatile. You cannot pinpoint exactly what they are, but they are everywhere. So these are particles. In traditional textbooks, they are also called adverbs or conjunctions. Some of books call them conjunctions. Just so you know, they can be called conjunctions or adverbs, but they are also particles, basically little things that have a lot of functions, a lot of meanings. Okay, so what are discourse particles? When we look at these simple made-up sentences, 我也喜欢唱歌. So just by using 也, you know that you are connecting this sentence, 喜欢唱歌, like to sing, to some previous context. Like someone else also likes to sing, or you like to do something other than singing, and you also like to do singing. So the adverb here, the particle here, right away gives you the idea that there's context. There's previous utterance that people have said or you have said, and there's follow-up. Same goes for 还，我还喜欢唱歌。So I like something else and also likes to sing. 他们都喜欢唱歌。So they both like, or they all like to sing. 都 indicates that you are talking about some sort of universally shared thing. 你再看一下。Using 再 helps you to know that there is a previous situation where you looked at it. Now look at it again. Versus 我又看了一下. So you look at it once and then you look at it again. We'll talk about the difference between 在 and you. So if we do not have these adverbs, 我喜欢唱歌，他们喜欢唱歌，你看了一下，我看了一下。So the meaning gets different because you don't have this evocation of the previous context. So that's why they are called discourse particles. They give you the hint that there is a previous context, either in the previous sentence or in what you and your interlocutors are talking about. So the common features of these words are that they all come before the main verb, hence they are called adverbs in various textbooks. They all relate the current sentence or idea to a previous sentence or idea. So in effect, they make individual utterances into a stretch of discourse, connected discourse. They flow, hence the name discourse particles. They're very useful for expressing your stance and attitude. And we'll illustrate that as we go. One important thing to understand about discourse particles is that because they're so frequent, so occurring everywhere in speaking and in writing, you will see that their meaning is like this image, very colorful, full of different branches. But there's a main branch and there's lots of little small branches. So the meaning is always developing, it's not fixed. So our way of looking at it is to look at some of the main basic functions. Usually it's more concrete, occurring more frequently in everyday language. And then the meaning gets extended. You will see meanings that are more abstract. They occur less frequent. You encounter them less frequently. The meaning also gets to be more expressing stance and relating to your assumptions and expectations about what's going on. So the key point here is that all these words have multitude of meanings. We grasp the main sort of skeletal imagery of their meaning, but in real world, the meaning is very much like this colorful tree with lots and lots of leaves and lots of branches. So now we're done with the introduction. Let's look at the first adverb, 也. The basic usage of 也 has to do with relating distinct entities as they share the same feature. For example, first sentence, 我妈妈姓张，我爸爸也姓张。So my mom's surname is Zhang. My father's surname is also Zhang. This is not very typical in households because typically people don't marry someone who share the same surname in the traditional Chinese culture because you want to marry someone with a different surname. So this is something you can say. 我妈妈姓张，我爸爸也姓张。我妈妈 subject, 姓张 predicate, 我爸爸 subject, 姓张 predicate. 也 comes before the predicate to indicate not only 我妈妈 but also 我爸爸 share the same thing. So different subjects share the same feature. On the other hand, you can also use 也 to indicate the same thing has multiple coexisting features. For example, sentence 2, 这个专业 this major 很有意思 very interesting. 也好找工作 easy to get a job. So if you study this major, it's not only interesting but also promising good jobs. in this case, different from the first sentence, we have the same focus with the major, which has two coexisting features. 这个专业很有意思，也好找工作。A third example shows a different usage, same idea, coexisting parallel between distinct entities, but the usage has to do with you can talk about several coexisting comments about the same topic. So here we have a topic comment structure. 这家酒店, this hotel. What about it? Well, it's very pricey. 价格太高. And the location being not good at it as well. 位置 location 也不好, also not good. So you have the structure of topic. 这家酒店 comment pricey, bad location. 这家酒店价格太高，位置也不好. So you don't have to share the same subjects, as long as it's understood that you're talking about parallel features of the same thing. 这家酒店价格太高，位置也不好. So these are the three basic usage of 也, where you talk about parallel features of the same entity. So let's see some examples by native speakers. Because they're coming from natural language samples, there might be a vocabulary that you are not familiar with. So I'll explain as we go. So the first sentence is said by an elderly, talking about how he get retired. 他说, he says, 我原来 originally used to 开出租车. I used to drive a taxi cab. 我原来开出租车. 后来 then afterwards 耳朵 my ears 有点儿聋了. So I got a little bit deaf. 聋了耳朵 losing your hearing. 耳朵有点聋了. 岁数 age 岁数也大了. So my age is also getting older. I'm getting older. 就退休了. So I retired. So because this is natural language, you can see a lot of vocabularies that you may not have encountered in textbooks. One more time. 我原来开出租车，后来耳朵有点聋了，岁数也大了，就退休了. So 也connects the fact that he's getting older to the previous fact that he's getting deaf, making this as two coexisting features leading to his retirement. The second example is also by the same person who used to drive a taxi cab. He says, well, tips are as you wish. So how do you explain the fact that you can give whatever amounts you want to give? So he says, 小费 tips, 小费你随便给随便 as you wish 给 to give 小费你随便给 topic comment structure as to tips as you wish 小费你随便给一毛 colloquial expression for 1 dime 10 cents 一毛也行 it's fine 5分 5 cents 也行 it's also fine 1分 1 cent也行 it's also fine 凭你自己的良心凭 according to hold on to 凭你自己 you yourself 的良心良心 literally means good heart so just follow your own integrity 凭你自己的良心你愿给多少钱给多少钱愿 willingly So how much you are willing to give, you just give how much. 你愿给多少钱给多少钱 Give me however much you want to give. 你给1分钱 You give me 1 cent. 也 also 不嫌少不嫌 to have a grudge against. I won't think it's too little. 给100块 Give me $100. 也不嫌多I won't think it's too much. So this is pretty good expression of using 也 to show anything goes. Just use your own integrity, how much you want to tip. One more time. 小费你随便给，1毛也行，5分也行，1分也行，凭你自己的良心，你愿给多少钱给多少钱，你给1分钱也不嫌少，给100块钱也不嫌多。So this is natural language. It's important to notice that because you are building up your discourse, things are connected. One idea flows to the next. Those adverbs like 也 help to build these discourse as connected little chunks. And also, you don't need to have the sentential subject. For example, you, in every utterance because it's understood. Mandarin Chinese is like that. As long as the subject is understood, it's okay to omit the subject. It flows better that way.